why we cannot share detailed information with you. Early release of information can affect the operational work of the investigation. New and incoming information is often unconfirmed and needs to be validated prior to release, and misleading information can potentially harm the investigation. Talking about specifics of any pending criminal investigation creates potential blocks or disruptions in detectives' work, the district attorney's work, and may result in a negative outcome and hamper our efforts to find Kyron. In order for us to make this investigation as successful as possible, we will not answer specific questions relating to this investigation. That being said, we appreciate your understanding and partnership as we proceed. We want to continue to inform the public of Kyron's description and will continue to periodically share information when we are able to do so. Following my initial remarks, Chief Moore has some important information to share with you, and then Desiree would like to say a few words. The family will not be answering questions at this time. Chief Moore and I will not be taking questions at the end of our statements. First, an update on the investigation. Since Kyron's disappearance on June 4th, this investigation has developed into the largest search effort in Oregon's history. Never before has there been a combined search and rescue contingent of approximately 500 searchers involving 18 different counties and several other agencies from other states. We want to again express our appreciation for the help we've received and to say that we simply could not have completed such an exhaustive search using only local resources. From the first days of the search as it developed into a criminal investigation, the East Multnomah County Major Crimes Team, in partnership with the FBI, has remained organized and determined to reach a successful conclusion. This team continues its focused effort to work through every investigative lead and is prepared for any potential long-term effort. Our operational command post will continue to be located at the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office Hanson Building. Multnomah County Sheriff's Office personnel have dedicated approximately 11,000 hours to this investigation. As of this morning, we have received nearly 3,500 leads that have been developed from thousands of tips that have come in. We continue to receive a varying number of tips from day to day. Typically, tips are called in and are filtered, prioritized, and triaged by an experienced detective, allowing for effective dissemination of information to the appropriate resource. All tips are recorded and tracked using software specifically designed for this purpose. Once a tip turns into a lead, it's assigned to a detective or multiple detectives and is worked and continues to be tracked using the software. Significant progress in this case is occurring in that tips are being reviewed, leads are either being considered, worked, or have been ruled out. Regarding investigative tips, many tips that have been submitted produce workable leads, and these tips are given high priority on the investigation workload. However, there have been calls that come in, such as psychic tips, which produce no workable leads or lack tangible information that can be followed up on. This is not to say that these tips will never be considered. They simply are being prioritized below those that provide tangible information. Regarding the use of polygraphs, this is simply an investigative tool that may help to further an investigation. We have at any given time many personnel working on this investigation. That number fluctuates based on the leads being considered and the resources required to work those leads on any given day. Though we cannot comment on specific searches, we can tell you that searches occur when necessary, and we have resources in place to address any small or large-scale search effort that may develop. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office continues to be the lead agency, and we continue our partnership with the East Multnomah County Major Crimes Team. This team was created in 1996 and has over a 90% successful prosecution rate for major criminal investigations. Having worked with the Major Crimes Team in the past, I can tell you that it's comprised of some of Multnomah County's most well-respected, skilled, and dedicated detectives. These detectives are selected for their skill level and ability to solve crimes and work well within a detective team. Additionally, we have the best resources that District Attorney Mike Shrunk has to offer for this case. We believe that Kyron's disappearance involves criminal behavior because his parents have been deprived of their son for 53 days. In response to an earlier question, at this time in Multnomah County or the Pacific Northwest region, we are not aware of any missing children cases that are like this one. Without hesitation, we can say that any case involving similar circumstances will be given the same attention that this one has. It continues to be important to emphasize to both our local citizens and citizens throughout the state of Oregon and all over the country that are following this case that we remain steadfast, determined, and focused in our work to bring Kyron home to his family. I'd like now to introduce Chief Deputy Tim Moore.
Good afternoon. Today, I'd like to announce that the initial reward of $25,000 offered through the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office is being increased to $50,000 effective at 3 p.m. today. This reward money is being provided by an anonymous donor. The $50,000 in reward money is offered for specific information that leads us to Kyron. As Captain Reiser said, it has now been 53 days since Kyron's disappearance, and I want to again emphasize that even though there has been some passage of time, we continue to ask the community to look for Kyron and continue to provide tips. I understand that the public continues to be concerned for Kyron and curious about details of the case. It's a natural tendency for all of us to care about the welfare of a small child. As many of us in the room today are parents or grandparents, we try to empathize with Desiree and Kane, yet we do not really understand what they are experiencing. We thank them for being available today and for doing their best at working with us in partnership. Last week, the Sheriff's Office and District Attorney's Office received the much appreciated support from Multnomah County Chair Jeff Cogan and the Board of County Commissioners regarding a request for additional detective and prosecution resources for this investigation. Sheriff Staten was pleased to report to the board that the Sheriff's Office was able to not use the $500,000 in contingency funds that the board designated in June to assist in the expenses of this investigation. Additionally, the sheriff has chosen not to ask the board for additional funding at this time and to assess investigative resources that will be utilized in the future and report back to the board the dollar amount expended in October. We continue to be mindful that it is important for us to be efficient in every aspect of this investigation, and that includes being fiscally responsible with our expenses. I would now like to introduce Desiree Young, who would like to make a statement, but will not be answering questions at this time.
Good afternoon. We feel the investigation continues to be on track and is progressing toward finding Kyron. We remain confident in the actions and constant commitment of law enforcement in the mission to find our son. Our goals are to expedite the search for Kyron, to bring him home as quickly as possible, and to bring justice to any person responsible for his disappearance. We believe their goals remain the same as ours and are confident that they will bring him home soon. We are still very hopeful that with additional tips each day and their diligent actions, that is what will lead them to Kyron. We love you, Kyron. Never give up hope. We are all coming to get you, to bring you home. Thank you.
I will momentarily, or at least in the next half hour, send out the written statement on Flash News so that you all have it for your news and media.
So we have no question, no opportunity to ask any questions?
Why was the news conference called? We got nothing but history and a reward.
Well, it's an ongoing investigation, and it is what our press release said it would be, following up on the questions and an update on the case. And we did bring the family in also.
It's like a follow-up at all, though.
I'm sorry. That's all I can do at this point.